Do you ever struggle with how to come up with content ideas for your blog, for your website? In this video, I'm going to share with you 5 methods that are simple yet very creative that will allow you to create articles, and I'm telling you, you will never ever run out of ideas for your blog. So if you don't know me, my name is Jelena Ostrovska from JelenaOstrovska.com, and I show young entrepreneurs how to grow a profitable online business while creating a limitless lifestyle and having more fun. So here's something that I personally learned about blogging. It's not something that you can approach without commitment. So blogging definitely does take some time, and even to put together an article, it does take a little bit more effort than to put together, like a status update or a Facebook Live. Facebook Live, you can literally do it like, 15 minutes and you're done. Blog post, it is something that it stays on the internet forever as long as your website is alive. If people are searching for a particular article that you have put together, it has to be good. Okay, so I've done articles that are not good. I've done articles that are pretty amazing, as I've been told. One thing that I do when it comes to blogging, I don't just find ideas for articles out of like thin air. I usually am very strategic when it comes to my articles because I do want you to get as much value from it as possible. That's why I do have like several ways that I'm about to share with you how to come up with content, because I do know that it's always a struggle. Like, what do I talk about like in my YouTube video, what I talk about in my blog post, how do I put together something that is really good. So the number one thing, if you have been growing your business for any given time, maybe you already have like a decent sized audience, maybe you have, like an email list, maybe you have a private Facebook group, maybe you have your fan page, maybe you have your Facebook personal profile or Instagram, any other social media platform where you have your audience that is hanging out there. Ask them, like, number one strategy is ask them, like, hey, what is your biggest challenge? So here's like some ways how I do it. I actually have even ran a Facebook ad, literally like short status update, and I asked, like, my niche obviously is, entrepreneurs and business owners or network marketers, that are included in that particular audience. So I literally asked the question, when it comes to growing your business online, what is your biggest struggle or challenge? And I ran that like a boosted post, like, or a promoted post, whatever you want to call it. And like, I had some good answers actually out of that particular ad. Like, I've got so many ideas for blog posts and even Facebook Lives, just out of that simple ad. Like, I didn't put a big budget into it. I just like ran it to my fans, and I was like, how can I serve you better? So you can send an email to your list. Like, I've done it so many times, and it's actually really good if you don't have like, hundreds of thousands of people on your email list, because, if you do, you're going to get a ton of responses and you're kind of going to be overwhelmed unless you like have somebody helping you manage your email. So like, literally, let's send a quick, email. You don't have to include any links, you don't have to include anything, just send them an email. Hey, like, I'm just curious, what is your biggest challenge when it comes to XYZ? Maybe it's like health and wellness, maybe when it comes to losing weight, maybe when it comes to applying makeup or whatever. So like, whatever your niche is, like, ask them, what is your biggest struggle in this particular area? So just hit reply and let me know. And I also, one thing that I do use is, like, I use it like as a little PS line on my emails. Whenever I do send an email, I don't do it like every day, but every now and then I would put a little PS line. Hey, by the way, like, let me know what's your biggest struggle that I can help you with. Just hit reply and let me know. Maybe you have like an Instagram account where you have a ton of people on there, so ask them there. So like, it doesn't have to be super difficult. Maybe you're building a messenger list, so you could ask your messenger, like, hey, what is your biggest challenge when it comes to growing your business? That's actually a really good idea that I probably should use and I have not used it yet. So like, ask your audience, because they will give you a ton of ideas. I have a private Facebook community which you can register for by going to theunlimitedentrepreneur.com, and like, there's 3 questions that I ask there, which is, like, one of those questions is actually like, what is your biggest struggle when it comes to growing your business? So, and I've got always people asking either, it could be the same answer every single time, or, I do actually get some good, responses out of that question. So just ask people and they'll tell you what they're struggling. That's going to be your best content. So number 2, Pinterest. Holy moly, that is like my favorite strategy when it comes to, getting some content ideas. In fact, one of my blog posts that you're probably going to see on my YouTube channel, on my, my blog as well. Like, actually not one, but there's a lot that I literally found through Pinterest. Like, just go and use Pinterest as Google, type in some keywords and see what kind of infographics are there. Maybe there's something about time management. If you're into health and fitness, holy moly, like, seriously, there is a ton of content like that. Like, learn something from it, take some notes, put your own spin on it, put your own personality on it, just go for it, right? So, like, Pinterest has been a goldmine for me. I love it, and I always highly recommend that. Like, especially if you're struggling to finding ideas, I'm telling you, Pinterest, like, will always give you ideas. Like, it will always give you some inspiration. I don't use Pinterest for business pretty much at all as of right now, but I do use it for some inspiration. So number 3, pay attention to magazines. Pay attention to, like, what kind of headlines do they use. Like, if you really want to become a great copywriter and create good headlines or, like, titles for your blog posts, by all means, go out, like, go to the store, maybe, like, you're in health and fitness, maybe you are, like, in business. So, like, just to read some of those, like, headlines, on the magazine, like, go inside the magazine, see, like, what's in there. Because, like, the reason we buy magazines is because of those headlines. Believe it or not, if we see something that is, like, super catchy and something that, like, really piques our curiosity, we're always going to get it. So I know, like, for me personally, that's the reason why I usually get magazines, although I'm not a huge fan of them anymore, but I still do, like, buy, like, entrepreneur magazine, success magazine. If I do see a really good headline that I want to learn about, I'm definitely gonna buy it. So magazines, online websites, like, see other people's blogs and YouTube channels, like, what do they talk about? Like, what kind of topics are they covering in their videos? Don't ever copy anybody else's content, but it definitely, get some inspiration that put your own piece of content together. So number 4, Quora. So, like, there's not a lot of forum websites anymore. I mean, there probably are, but, like, I don't know if people still use them, but Quora, Quora.com, that's the one that is really good for any kind of niche, like, especially for entrepreneurship, network marketing. Like, there's always people asking questions. So what I usually do is I go there, I find, like, I just scroll through it and I usually find something that's going to pique my attention, and I just see, like, what kind of responses did people give to that particular, question. Then, like, I either get some inspiration from the answer or from the question itself, and then I just go record the video and put it on my website, and then, like, bada boom, right? So, and number 5, this is, like, a really good one, is webinars. And I use webinars actually in a very specific way when it comes to creating content. So I attend a webinar, let's say there's, somebody's talking about Facebook ads, or somebody's talking about, sales funnels, or somebody's talking about, I don't know, like, it can be anything, honestly. So if you learn something, take a slide, there's usually, like, a slide of why you need to use sales funnels, why you need to be building your email list. Like, I take a look at, like, the slide, what it is about, and how can I actually use that particular slide out of the entire presentation and create a piece of content out of that. You don't have to even watch the whole webinar. Sometimes, like, I just, get the replay, I scroll through it, if there's an option like that, and, I just, like, use one of the slides, or, like, 2 of the slides, or, a lot of the slides to, like, create a video, and then, like, a piece of content. So it's, that's probably one of the easiest ways to really get some, like, ideas flowing. So webinars is definitely a great strategy. The same thing applies to live events. If you go to conventions and live events and stuff like that, definitely do use that information to create blog posts and articles and YouTube videos around that. It's not only going to help you with that, but you can also create any kind of content for your social media accounts out of those, like, strategies that I've just shared with you. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, feel free to share this with anybody who you think this might be of benefit. If you know somebody who is just, like, struggling with creating content online, definitely refer them back to this video or blog post wherever you see this. Give this a thumbs up if you do see this on my YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe to it, as I'm always sharing more trainings and videos just like this. And for more trainings and articles, go over to my website, JelenaOstrovska.com, and I do have well over 370 articles there so far. Be sure to subscribe to my newsletter for more information and tips just like this to be delivered right into your email inbox. So hope you enjoyed this video, and until next time, bye.